how to play contemporary piano just like this? Well, when a lot of students play What a Wonderful World, they play it like this. They play these very basic chords in their left hand, and you can make your chords sound so much more interesting if you apply the contemporary stylization. And in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this over the tune What a Wonderful World. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, first I'm going to show it to you the way most students play it. We're going to go over the basic chords, and then I'm going to show you how to transform the chords into the more interesting ones. All right, we're playing this in the key of F major. This is kind of the basic idea of the tune. I'm using some very basic major and minor chords. So when I start off the phrase, I might use an F major chord. This is a 1 chord in the key of F. This is an A minor chord. It's a 3 chord. This is my B flat major. It's like a 4 chord in F. Back to my F major. That's a 1 chord. There's my 4 chord again. Back to my 1 chord. And then kind of a cool chord here. It's an A major. Kind of a cool chord leading you to your D minor, like that. And then we finish off the phrase D flat major, kind of a cool chord. It's a flat 6 chord in the key of F. Basically, I'm using like a G minor here. It's a 2 chord in the key of F. There's my C major. It's a 5 chord in F. And then my F major. Okay? And then we do some kind of cool chords. You can throw a little F augmented chord in here, and then a 2 chord on G, and then your 5 chord on C. Now before I teach you guys how to transform this, if you're enjoying this lesson, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. All right, so that's the kind of ordinary or simple way that you might be playing this tune, but you want to transform it, you want to make it sound beautiful and contemporary. So how do we do this? How do you transform it into this? Well, the first thing to know is you actually have to change the time signature of this tune. If you look at the original tune, I see trees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. It's a 6 feel, or you can think of it as a 12/8 feel. And so if you want to turn it into the contemporary piano style, it's actually better to make it in the 4/4 feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Does that make sense? So instead of this triplet feel, triplet, you want 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, does that make sense? So in other words, the first step is to take it from a 12/8 feel or a 6/8 feel into a 4/4 feel. Now, the next thing is you want to start adding some nice notes to your chords. And so there's kind of a few rules that I follow when I'm doing something in the contemporary piano style. If I want an F major chord to sound more contemporary, I add a note to this chord. I add a G to this chord. This is called the 2 of the chord. And when you add a G to an F major chord, it's called an F add 2, okay? See what I'm doing now? And it sounds way nicer this way. Instead of just playing an F major, we get an add 2 in there, okay? So that's kind of one of the things that I'm doing on most of the major chords. If you look at the lead sheet here, if you look at the chords here, F add 2, F add 2, B flat add 2. This is the magic of the contemporary piano style. Anytime you're on a major chord, B flat major, you put an add 2 in there like this, okay? Now you can voice the chord in a lot of very interesting ways. You want to make sure that note is in the chord. When I'm on a minor chord, if I'm on like a G minor, I add an 11 to the chord. Now, if this sounds confusing, don't worry. The 11 is very simple. The 11 is simply down a whole step from the 5th of your chord. So if I'm on a G minor, it's down a whole step. It's right there. It's a C. And jazz musicians will call this the 11, okay? But you can think of it as the 4th note of the chord, okay? So if I'm on a G minor and I add the C, it sounds so cool. Doesn't that sound gorgeous? Okay. There's also a couple other notes that you can oftentimes add to minor chords like this to make it sound really nice. You can add the seventh. I'll do this a lot. The seventh is just a whole step down from the root. That sounds gorgeous, okay? And there's also one more note. If you really want to add a lot of color, we're not going to do it in this arrangement, but you can also add the note a whole step above the G. Okay, this is called the 9. But if you put all these combinations together, you can get really lush chords like this on a G minor. Okay, but for our purposes today, when I'm doing most contemporary piano, I like to add the 4 and the 7 to minor chords. Okay, that's pretty much the formula because most of these chords are major and minor chords. So let's go through this arrangement now and let's see how we can transform it with these 2 rules that I just mentioned. Okay, let's start with the first phrase. Okay, really beautiful. Basically what I'm doing is I got my walk up, C, E, okay, and we play this gorgeous F add 2 chord, okay? But we're not just gonna play the chord, we're gonna groove on it. Okay, so this is the other element of the contemporary piano style, is you don't wanna just play the chords, but you wanna establish a little bit of a groove, and this is one of the best grooves to use on a contemporary piano tune. It's this basic groove. Basically, my right hand, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My left hand, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So you can sort of repeat this groove on an F and just kind of try to establish that general groove before you start adding other chords. Now before I move on, if you guys are enjoying this lesson, I do want to recommend a really great course where you can learn contemporary chord progressions. It's called our Contemporary Progressions and Improv course. You'll also learn how to improvise over these chord progressions, so I'll put a link to that below. All right, so here we go. Now we've got a setup here. F, we're going to go to an inverted F add 2 over A. So basically I'm taking my F add 2, putting the 3rd in the bass. So it's a really nice sound. This creates a really nice contemporary piano sound. Okay, I've got my root, my 2nd there that I said to add 2, but then I do a little slide. It's called a diatonic slide or a slip note if you're familiar with country western music. Grab the root there and you slide up to the 2nd there. It's super cool. I'm just grabbing notes from the chord. This is my F major. Okay, I'm going to do a walk down into the 3rd of my B flat major chord. So I've got all these beautiful chord clusters here, and I've got this is the 7th of the chord. I'm basically creating a little melody here. Okay, check out this phrase. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm basically grabbing like a B flat major. I've got the root, the 2nd there. I'm going to go up to the 3rd. I'm going to grab my B flat major like this, kind of a spread out B flat major. I'll do it again. Okay, and this is really nice. Little chord substitution. It's like a C7 over B flat. Kind of implies a C7 chord with a B flat in the bass. Oh, this is gorgeous, okay? So after that, okay, we're gonna play that F over A, F add 2 over A. There's the chord again. Got the 2nd down there. Okay, let's move on to the next phrase. We're gonna go to that G minor 11. Okay, what's happening here? I'm basically outlining a G minor 7 chord. I mentioned that earlier. On a minor chord, you add the 7th, but the right hand is the magic. Isn't that beautiful? I've got the 3rd, that 11 that we talked about earlier. And this is called a gospel slide. Okay, when I play gospel chords, a lot of 2nd inversion chords. So I'm playing my G minor like that, but I'm doing a little gospel slide from the F, the 7th, to the minor chord. We got another grab there again. Okay, after that G minor, we're going to go back to that F major, put that 2 in there, that little diatonic slide or the slip note. There's our F add 2 again, gotta throw that chord in there. Okay, from here, we're gonna go to an A7 sus4. It's basically a better way of playing an A7. You kind of prolong it a little bit. Then we resolve it there. Now we're on that A7. Oh, one of the coolest chords in this arrangement. This is called the D minor 11, okay? And we follow the same rules. I'm playing a D minor. I'm adding the 11, which is a whole step down from the 5th, and a 7, which is a whole step down from the root. So we have all these gorgeous notes to now play in this chord. Isn't that beautiful? You can come up there like that in the left hand, or you can play the thumb on the F like that. And now we're gonna set this up. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. Basically, I'm playing a D flat major, but I'm adding some really cool notes to this chord. Okay. Now this is a slightly different chord. This is more of a jazz chord, and for this chord, we're adding 2 very important notes that you can add to a major chord. We're adding the 6th note and the 7th note of the chord. So if you're playing a D flat major scale, you can add the 6th and the 7th note to this chord, and you get this beautiful sound. Now I'm doing a little slip note to the C, like that, and then I come down to my B flat, okay? If you want to learn more chords like this, these are called chord extensions. You can learn these in our chord extensions course over at pianowithjonny.com. I'll put a link to that below. I'm going to fill a little bit. The technical name for this chord is called D flat major 13, in case you were wondering. Again, don't worry about the chords too much. You'll learn these as you go. Okay, what's happening here? I'm on a C7 sus4. Instead of going to an ordinary C7, we're going to suspend it to create a little bit of suspense, and then we're going to resolve it to my C major. And then check out this chord. Don't you love that sound? Okay, this is another really cool note you can add to a dominant 7 chord, your 6th note. And then check this out. Basically, I'm just hitting a normal F major here, doing that little diatonic slide or the slip note. There's my add 2 down there. There's my F augmented. I'm adding the 9 to this, something you can do on your major chords. And check this little line out. Basically, this is a little filler line, and you really want to do this at the ends of your arrangements whenever you're sitting on a note. What a wonderful world. Nothing's happening here, so make up a little melody. Da, da, da. I'm using simple 6 on a G minor 7 chord, and I resolve to a C7 sus4. And then you might resolve it at the end. 1, 2, I, C. You're going to resolve it at the very end, and then we play that C back down to the F. All right, we're going to play the whole thing at a slow tempo so you can see how the hands come together. But before we do this, if you guys are enjoying this contemporary piano sound, we have a whole course on add 2 chords. It's called the Chord Wonder course, and you can learn all of the ways that I use these chords in contemporary arrangements. So I'll put a link to that below. And here's the full thing at a medium slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. All right, this concludes this week's quick tip, and if you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 900 step-by-step lessons in jazz, blues, pop, theory, technique, improvisation. It's the full learning platform for all playing levels Also, be sure to check out the Piano with Jonny membership. This gives you unlimited access to all of our courses, plus you get to be part of our live monthly events, including our live Q&As, our live workshop lessons. We do student assessments where you can send me a video and I'll give you personalized feedback. We do weekly challenges for our students, student collaborations, and we have a ton of fun. So go check out Piano with Jonny, and I'll see you in the next one.